The NBA draft is over. It's been about a week and a half. Who are the real winners? Who are the real losers? Here are 4 picks from me. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Average American Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Tate. And this week we're going to do something different, a little foray into sports. I'm always talking about politics, care about the future, but I love sports. Watch them all the time. Obviously, everybody knows playoffs are better for every sport. But sports in general are awesome, and I love them. We just had the NBA draft, and so I'm going to share with you my 4 picks that I think really will have a determining factor on the future of these franchises that are either at the top or trying to, really find their footing again. I want to start with Dembélé. Obviously, AJ Dembélé is a absolute monster when it comes to just his offensive prowess. I mean, the kid plays defense. He can shoot. He's a great rim runner. Um, I think he's got a lot better dribble skills than maybe he's had to showcase. I don't know, but he has really good, solid ball control. Uh, you know, just always available in the right spots. Makes great plays. Um, but I think the person that I think is the most interesting or is the most comparable to when he's coming in is like he reminds me a lot of Blake Griffin. He doesn't quite have the same athleticism of Blake Griffin, but people always thought of Blake Griffin as the dunker. And if you watch highlight videos, it's AJ Dembélé dunking on people and doing a lot of dunks. But if you really watch several highlight videos composed, the kid's got a great post game. It's a great shooter from, he's got a little turnaround, little pick and pop jumper. He doesn't shoot terrible from the 3-point. I believe it's like 32, 34%, somewhere in that range. So he's not a bad 3-point shooter by any means, especially for a big man. And that's something that he can develop. I mean, if he got that up to, say, 37, 40% range of the best shooters in the NBA, I mean, this kid's a fucking animal. So I think the Wizards did great. They've already got Trae Young. They don't need a guard. No offense to Darren Peterson. He has the potential to be really fucking good too. Obviously, kid's loaded with talent. But I think this works really well with their dynamic. Alexander Sarr, Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, AJ Dembélé, Trae Young, whoever the fuck the fifth guy is. I don't know who's gonna play shooting guard for them, to be honest with you. Um, but regardless, you think of those 4 and just plug in your fifth player. If those guys are healthy, reasonably healthy for most of the year, that's a lot of length. Okay, from 3 to 5 with Sarr, Dembélé, Davis, that's a tough fucking middle to get through. Rim protection is going to be at an all-time high. We know how Anthony Davis' career is though, so let's not be too hasty. But I think the Wizards got a really good shot to make a play in. Up next, we've got Darius Acuff Jr. I think Darius Acuff Jr. is, just the best pick for the Kings. They need a guy who can produce the offense, and they got Zach LaVine for that, and they thought that he was going to do more, but he's just been oft injured, and he can score 40 points, and he's a great 3-point shooter, but availability is the best ability. Darius Acuff Jr. is a smaller guard. Zach LaVine's like 6'6", 6'7". Darius Acuff's like 6'2". So he's definitely a smaller guard, but we've seen, especially with Jalen Brunson, that we've seen these smaller guards really use their space effectively and learn how to do the body control. And I think he has a lot of that already. His intangibles as far as a scorer are obscene. I mean, this is a kid that as a rookie can average 20 to 25 a game. I don't see why not, especially on a team like the Kings without a ton of offense already. He's a great passer, too. I think him and Sabonis, if Sabonis stays healthy, is a great pickup. That pick and roll duo could actually be really good. And I argue that if they had him, instead of De'Aaron Fox, say you replaced him, Fox coming out now, Acuff, with his skill set and everything else, the Kings might have actually made a run at some point. They had a little 2-3 year stretch where they were pretty fucking solid. And in the West, that's a big deal, to be a 6th, 5th seed. I think they were a top 4 seed one season as well. I mean, the kid's got crazy range, crazy shooting. So I really like him. Up next, we've got Adai Mara. Great pick for the Thunder. Listen, I'm a Thunder fan, okay? I loved this. I'm a Michigan fan, so I double loved this. I was not going to be mad with the Yaxel Lindeborg, and I almost was really rooting for Yaxel to end up coming to us because he's more ready to play, more refined, and I think the kid's just got more to contribute immediately. Mara's going to take a couple years to really develop into the center he wants to be. But what can you say about the kid? I mean, tall, 7'3", wingspan 9'9". I've seen him hit threes. He's not a shooter. Let's be real about that. But I've seen him hit threes, so it's not like he couldn't develop. We brought in more size specifically for the Wemby problem. That's what it was. The Thunder had to attack the Wemby issue. Chet looked lost. He looked scared. He looked intimidated. We need somebody who's going to come and be young and doesn't give a shit. And I think that's what Adai Mara is. Also, on top of the fact that Adai Mara just is great with his little turnaround post moves. I mean, he's actually a center that operates really in the post. He's more traditional in that sense. So he's going to give other teams fits from those. He's a great passer. He's great at running the floor. I mean, how many times did he get full court lobs? That pick and roll 2-man game with him is fantastic. So you just add another big body, and they re-signed Hartenstein to a smaller deal, extended. So 3 years, $25 million a year rather than the $28 million. For his previous option. However, I do wonder, and this is just me wondering aloud as a Thunder fan, how does that rotation function? Do you give Mara more minutes if you see Chet struggle in the playoffs? Do you give Mara more minutes towards the end of the season to let Chet rest and give Mara playing time going into the playoffs? It'll be very interesting to see how Mark Daigneault operates within this. I think it's going to be a really fun season for them. And don't forget, the Thunder also got Bennett Sturts, so that's something they also contend with. They got another really solid rookie in the first round. So really good, great overall pick for them. I love this moving forward, and I really hope that it helps us get over that sort of Wemby hump we're facing this year. Last but not least, Koa Pete to the Suns at the end of the first round. And a lot of people don't generally think that the end of the first round players for either the NFL or NBA draft are the ones that you really talk about or really highlight that much. I think it's really important to notice that what the Thunder have done with second round picks have been really special, between the Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. There's no reason to believe that second round picks can't be really good. So basically getting a late first, high second, this kid has a lot of good intangibles. He's very strong at the basket. He's not a defensive powerhouse, but he plays good defense. He's strong. He will give you a good mid-range jumper. Late in the shot clock, you find somebody, he's open 15 feet or in, probably a good chance he can knock that down. He's got a solid 2-man game, a little pick and roll. He reminds me a little bit of how Dembinsa plays, but Dembinsa has the ball handling, and obviously Dembinsa just scores a little bit better at will. But Koa Pete is not to be slept on. I think the kid is really, really good in the right system. And if you go back and watch those Arizona games and what he was doing, he's a great rim runner. He's always available for the lob. He always makes sure that he's playing within the offense, and I think that that's something that really can be a good, solid role player that the Suns need. They have Devin Booker, Bradley Beal if he ever stays healthy. So he's a really, really good guy. I like him a whole bunch. I watched him, when they played Michigan, and I watched that game, and he put up 16 points in a game they lost by 28. So you could say the Braden Berrios and the other Arizona players that got drafted, all of those guys, I think Koa Pete is the sleeper of those picks. And I think the Suns actually did a really good job. It's kind of, he'll play a similar role to what Josh Okogie did, and I think that he'll do way better at it. And they're not going to ask him to shoot. He doesn't need to shoot. He needs to rim run, he needs to protect, and he needs to run that pick and roll really well and be an option, a third, fourth scoring option for a night when people don't have it. And you hope he can give you the 15 to 20 just on, every 10 games or so. And he can really ball out. And he's not a bad passer either. I think that he's a pretty decent passer in terms of working within the frame of the team. So those are my picks. Go ahead, feel free, comment down below. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me who I missed. I don't really care. I love the banter and I love the discussion. And I'll be coming back at you guys with a little bit of free agency information on what I think the 3 best free agency trades, including Jaylen Brown, next time. All right, peace.